Welcome back to the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. And we're preparing for rotation 3. Once again, Aggies will be on the beam, starting with Carrie Peel, followed by Charlie Belliston, Emily Briones, Mackenzie Martinez, Melanie Oster, and Haley Sanzotti. So, Christina, what are we looking for on the beam here? Obviously, to stay on the beam.
Staying on.
First and foremost.
Eliminating wobbles would be nice. Hitting those. Last week we talked about how on beam you have to have a 180-degree split on the beam. We're looking for them to hit all of those without any wobbles. You also have your connection, which is your series. We're looking for that connection. Your full turn stuck and a nice clean dismount.
Okay, we'll look for those things here as the judges look for those same things on the routine. So, leading off for the Aggies will be Carrie Peel. Very solid to start.
That was a good routine to start with. Good series. She had a little bit of a test down on that series. I'll take for that. She did hit her 180-degree leap. A little bit of a flex foot, but other than that, pretty good routine.
Good start. And first up on the floor for Kent State, right here is Michaela Ramito. What'd you see there?
A good landing. She had very good landings on all three of her passes. You are only allowed one step out of your landings in order to be deduction list. She hit her leaps in a good routine.
Okay. And quickly back to the beam for Utah State, Charlie Belliston. There's the first fall. Last week they did not have a fall. Solid landing.
Good landing on that
Other than the fall,
dismount.
what'd you see?
She had a great leap to aerial series. She did fall. Looks like she was a little bit crooked on that back handspring to make that fall happen. I don't think there was any saving that flick lay. But other than that, she smiled the whole time, which is a good thing.
All right, back to the floor here for Kent State. Kayla Kazmerel. Seemed to hit her passes. What else did you see there?
Looks like she didn't do the intended pass on her last pass, but she made that connection happen. Pretty good routine from her. Looks like she enjoyed her routine.
And quickly back to the beam for Utah State, Emily Briones. So the near fall hell there, that would be a slight deduction?
It'll be about 3/10.
And how much to fall off?
Fall is a 5/10 deduction because she brought her chest all the way down to the beam.
Oh. Little misstep there. What else you see?
Little bobbles here and there. She had a really great series. There's no wobbles on that at all. Looks like she was a little bit crooked on that dismount to make her a little bit short. She couldn't get the punch that she really wanted for that double twist.
Gotcha.
Other than that.
All right, and back to the floor now for Kent State. Nicole Eastman.
All right, because of the difficulty of those 2 passes, she only had to do 2 passes. Looks like she did a triple on the first pass, a little bit short on that, but you hardly see triples anymore. Triple twist, 3 twists in a row. Second pass was very good, had nice height and a good landing.
Okay. And now up for the Aggies, Mackenzie Martinez, once again our only all-around competitor tonight. Well, that's too bad, so we'll have to count one of the fall routines, correct?
Looks like we will. It's something you hardly see from Kenzie. She's gaining her composure so that she can finish up her routine without any more deductions. Couple steps on that landing. Our coach always told us that you have to have one of those meets to get them out of your system.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too bad. They have to count a fall. They were doing so well last week. Like we said, no falls at all. And back to the floor here now for Kent State, Skylie Lamano. A little short on the first pass, but other than that.
A little short on that front pass. She took a little bit of a deep squat on that. They'll take some for that. Looks like she really enjoyed that routine and played it to the crowd and the judges. That's one thing you want in your floor routine.
And quickly back to the beam for the Aggies, Melanie Oster.
what you
Solid.
want after a couple of falls is you want somebody that can get up there and rock her routine. She did have a little bit of a wobble on her leap, and if you notice, she put a jump after that leap and then connected it to another jump, so she still got credit for that jump series. But other than that, pretty solid routine from
And like
her.
you said, a lot of pressure after having 2 falls already. You certainly don't want to have to count
Yeah.
2, only count the 1.
Yep.
And now back to the floor routine for Kent State, Jordan Hardison. That looks solid.
Pretty fun routine to watch. Very, very high double pike. That was very impressive. She had a lot of power through that floor routine.
Yeah, that
Pretty
was
good
solid.
routine.
And up for the Aggies now, Haley Sanzotti, our final performance on the beam. Solid in the anchor spot.
Good routine. Her stag jump, the jump that she took her eyes off of beam, that is a very hard trick to do because you are jumping off a 4-inch beam and coming back down with a blind landing. Great routine from her.
I've always been amazed at any jumps on the beam, flips or not. And now to final performer for Kent State here on the floor, Rachel Stepinski.
It's a double A right there. That is very hard to do. All right, that was a pretty impressive floor routine, starting out with a double lay, followed by a nearly perfect double pike, and then finishing off with a round-up back handspring 2.5 twist to a layout.
Great height.
Great routine.
And we do have an exhibition routine for the Aggies on the beam. Destiny Ezel. My mistake, folks. That's actually Natalie Rainbolt as an exhibition routine. And once again, that's Natalie Rainbolt.
Good solid routine from her. Aggies have great depth on beam. To see that they have exhibitions on beam is a good thing. Means there's a little competition going on to see who can get into that lineup.
And competition is good, right? That leads to everybody doing their best and trying to earn that spot. And we do have an exhibition routine here for Kent State on the floor as well.
Looks like Kent State also has some depth on floor. They're looking at an exhibition. She's trying to fight her way into that lineup also.
All some good scores for them, too, on the floor.
Yeah,
looks like.
they did very well on floor.
They probably will take the lead after this rotation, comparing the scores with two of the falls that the Aggies had.
Looks like they did count her as out of bounds.
Oh,
Said that she went out of bounds on that.
The final performance.
So
Think of that one.
Little stumble on the whip half front full. That's the second pass. Didn't make it all the way around, which they will take for that.
That's what exhibitions are all about, working out those kinks, trying to get into that rotation.
Yep.
And that will conclude rotation 3. We'll be back to review scores and prepare for the next rotation following these messages. To the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. After rotation 3, Utah State did hold on to the lead, a score of 145.275. Kent State, a score of 144.900. And final tallies on the beam. Carrie Peel had a 9.70. Charlie Belliston a 9.25. Emily Briones a 9.5. Mackenzie Martinez a 9.175. That was one of the falls. Melanie Oster a 9.75. And Haley Sanzotti with a nice anchor spot, 9.80. What did you think of those scores?
Not bad. They didn't look as solid as they did last week. Obviously, we had 2 falls
Not
this
one
week.
fall last week, right?
But everybody else had a major wobble in their routine that's more than a tenth. They could take for that, and just staying calm. I mean, that's a hard position to be in when your second person falls and then your fourth person
like
falls.
you're saying, once you have a fall, and especially 2 falls, the pressure's on the next one, and they might be a little tighter, versus if everybody has a clean routine, that 6th person might be freer to perform a little easier.
Melanie and Haley did a fantastic job, especially getting the 2 highest scores of the beam rotation.
That's great. And on the floor, for Kent State, their individual scores, Michaela Ramiro had a 9.775. Kayla Casmero had a 9.625. Nicole Eastman, 9.80. Skylie Lamano, 9.70. Jordan Hardison, 9.825. And Rachel Stapinski with a 9.650.
That's definitely a strong event for them. They did an amazing job on that event. Aggies will really have to step it up if they want to hold this lead.
And we will be back shortly to review the final rotation after these messages. For Aggie Gymnastics. Final rotation, the Aggies will be on the floor, starting with Carrie Peel, followed by Jillian Chappelle, Haley Sanzotti, Mackenzie Martinez, Bailey McIntyre, and Emily Briones. Kent State will be on the beam, starting with Brooke Timko, followed by Kennedy Plude, Sarah Lipowicz, Nicole Eastman, Ali Marrero, and Rachel Stapinski. So on the floor, kind of a freestyle event. Seems like the ladies enjoy that one as much as anything. What are we looking for? Obviously, hit landings and height.
Height, hit landings, chest up on your landings, how many steps you take out of your landing. Also, they're looking for form, and that they all have a leap to do that has to hit 180 degrees. Also, that full turn that needs to be in there. This is a great event for the girls to really come out and show their personality and show it off.
And we do have an updated score. As you mentioned, Christina, they had an inquiry in for out of bounds or not.
It's like in football if the coach throws the flag out on.
Right, a challenge flag, right.
Flag.
So they did get 2 more tenths. So now Kent State is 145.05, Utah State 145.275. So it will come down to this final event. And we've already begun with Brooke Timko for Kent State on the beam. And a good start for Kent State.
Good start. She had a great series, back handspring layout, and then a little bit of a wobble on her aerial. But other than that, pretty great routine to start off with.
All right, and to the floor immediately for Utah State. Starting off, Carrie Peel.
Pretty good routine for Carrie. She struggled a little bit in warm-up, but it looks like she pulled it out. She had a great 2.5 twist. Last pass had a little bit of his foot stumble, but other than that, pretty solid routine for Utah State.
Yeah, it did look solid. And quickly back to the beam for Kent State, Kennedy Plood.
Solid landing, pretty good routine.
Good routine. She was very confident through the whole routine. She did a front toss, which is a front flip, taking off 1 foot, landing on 2. That is difficult on beam. Other than that, pretty good routine.
Yeah, looks solid.
You got the ball rolling.
And for the Aggies, quickly back to the floor, Jillian Chappelle.
Shoot. Solid final pass there.
Yeah, she would have stumbled out of bounds a little bit. She had too much rotation on that double pike. A little bit of stumble out of the 2.5 twist, but those are extremely difficult to just stick right on the spot. But other than that, pretty good routine.
And back to the beam for Kent State, Sarah Lipowitz.
So that little stumble would be a slight deduction, not quite as the fall, but
she lifted those feet up. It could be a bigger deduction. Solid aerial series. Not a bad routine. She had to save both her series, her back handspring, back layout, and her jumps. She could have easily fallen off, but she fought for that routine.
Those little tenths saved could be big at the end.
Make or break the meet.
And now up for the Aggies on the floor, Haley Sanzotti. What'd you see there?
Good routine. She had a great landing on her first pass, the double pike. Looks like she added a jump to her second pass this past week, but that looked awesome. She really hit that split and got that landing solid. Third pass was a little bit short with her chest down. They can take for that.
Okay. And now back to the beam for Kent State, Nicole Eastman. And there's the first fall for Kent State.
Another little wobble there. You have to stay mentally strong after a fall. And then you're playing the judges' game. What else can you take from me?
Try to limit the damage, basically, right?
Yep. Just that fall and a couple wobbles here and there.
All right, back to the floor for Utah State. Mackenzie Martinez, once again our only all-around performer tonight. And after last week's win, she is now tied for 20th in the nation in the all-around. Great height on her passes.
Not the best routine we've seen from her. She's been kind of short on both of those landings. A little bit of a stumble on that last pass. Other than that, pretty good routine. We've seen better, but she stayed on her
Some things
feet.
to work on for her, perhaps.
Mhm.
And back over to the beam now for Kent State will be Ali Marrero.
Looks like she
Pretty
fought
solid.
for that stick. Pretty solid routine. Just need a little bit more height on those jumps. They can take tens for that, not being high enough off the beam.
And back to the floor for Utah State. Fan favorite, Bailey McIntyre. She always seems to enjoy her floor routine. Wow. Looked pretty good.
Yeah, the crowd loved that routine, you can tell. She loves her routine. That first pass is very, very difficult. She does a full twist, and she does one twist and two flips in there.
That was solid. She loves it, and it shows, right?
Yeah.
Playing to the crowd.
That's always fun, is to play to the crowd.
And our final performer for Kent State tonight on the beam will be Rachel Stepinski.
Wow.
That looked good.
That was a beautiful routine. That they should reward her for with a good score. She had perfect landings,
Solid
perfect
dismount,
leaps,
definitely.
and a solid dismount. Hats off
Okay, we'll
to
see
her.
if the judges do reward her for that.
Yeah.
And our anchor position for the Aggies on the floor now, Emily Briones. Slight stumble. Other than that,
She saved that double back. But other than that, pretty great routine. She also plays to the crowd. They just need to get to know her a little bit better since she is a freshman, and they will respond to her.
And we do have a couple exhibitions here to finish out the event. Kent State now, and on the floor coming up will be Destiny Izell.
Not a bad routine. She did have a fall, but one thing about her is that she has beautiful lines. The judges will like her gymnastics because of her lines. She's got to clean that up, settle it down a little bit, and she'll be good to go.
And our final performance tonight, an exhibition routine on the floor by Destiny Izell.
She exhibition last week, still trying to fight her way into the lineup. We'll see if she can make it this week.
What'd you see there,
Pretty
Christina?
good routine. On both her first and her last passes, she did have her chest down, which she'll take for, but pretty good routine. We'll see if she can make it into the lineup for next meet.
All right, and that will do it for the fourth and final rotation. We'll be back to review the final unofficial scores and review the match after these messages. Welcome back to the Spectrum here on the campus of Utah State University. Our unofficial final scores are Utah State 194.100 and Kent State 193.500. Tight meet, absolutely, but it's a good score for the Aggies, right, Christina?
Yeah, they came out and performed on floor, which is exactly what they needed to do to win this meet.
Go ahead.
Kent State just had a couple falls and a couple bumbles, but that's what cost them the meet is how well can you stay on and how many wobbles can you get rid of.
And those falls probably did cost them on the beam. And we'll review the final scores on the beam for Kent State. Brooke Timko finished with a 9.70. Kennedy Plude, 9.75. Sarah Lipowich, 9.475. Nicole Eastman with an 8.825. That one hurt. Allie Moreno with a 9.675. And Rachel Stupinski with a 9.850. Utah State finishing up on the floor. Carrie Peel at a 9.75. Jillian Chappelle, a 9.60. Haley Sanzotti, a 9.80. Kinsey Martinez, a 9.80. She did win the all-around. And Bailey McIntyre with a 9.80, and Emily Briones with a 9.675. So that score is higher than last week, I believe, wasn't it? That's 194 is a good score, right?
It's a good score. It does leave room for improvement, which they'll find. There's always room for improvement, but it's a good place to be right now.
And once again, our unofficial final score, Utah State 194.100 and Kent State 193.500. For Christina and I'm Chris Ellett, saying goodbye from the Spectrum here on the campus of Utah State University. And as always, go Aggies.